The City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City will meet in a special meeting in City Hall Council Chambers located at 1716 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, on Tuesday, August 26th, 2025 at 5 p.m. To establish a quorum, I will have a call to order and a roll call from my left, please.
Burns here.
Evans here.
Jacobs here.
Person here.
We have a quorum. Pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551007, members of the public may speak on any topic. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and no action may be taken by the council. Any response from a member of the City Council to non-agenda comments is limited to a statement of specific factual information, a recitation of existing policy, or direction to staff for follow-up. Janet, do we have any citizens' comments? Having none, we will move forward. 4, new business. We will now conduct board applicant interviews and discuss appointees. Our sponsor on this is our city manager, Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. In front of you and on the TVs behind me are the board applications for 2025, along with any vacancies we have. So, for example, Board of Adjustment currently has 1 full-time position vacant, 1 alternate vacant position, and then Linda Tracy is up October 1, and you will see over to the side her application is green because she has reapplied. The same for Economic Development. Mr. Bond has reapplied. Ms. Rademacher has reapplied. She is not here tonight. She had a prior commitment she could not get out of, so she's happy to answer any questions. As you know, she currently serves on the board. We've also had 2 additional applications, and you see those in yellow, James Slack and Joni Espinoza. So the purpose of tonight is to begin these interviews because we had a lot of applications. We wanted to try to get a head start on those. These members won't be appointed until our September meeting. Mayor, you can call them up and do the interviews. If council would like to move to the tables to begin to have some discussions about who might get appointed where, who might be renewed, we can do that after the interviews. It will give me and my team some direction on, do we need to fill some additional vacancies and really push those board openings out on social media and the website, but that is entirely up to the city council.
Council, do you have any feelings toward that? Are we good up here? Everyone's good up here, so I think we'll proceed. Our first board applicant will be on the Board of Adjustments, and our first application will be from Linda Tracy. Linda, could you come to the...
I don't believe Linda is here tonight.
Huh?
Linda's not here.
Linda's not here? Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, and Janet will have to confirm this, I believe the only candidate that we heard from that wouldn't be here is Jerry Rademacher, and I know Mr. Slack typically works right up until 5, so he may come in, but he is also on our Ordinance Review Committee, so some of you may know him from that.
Well, then we will move to Economic Development Corporation, 3 vacancies on this board. Mr. Rademacher, as we heard, is unavailable, so our first applicant and current board member will be Keith Bond. Keith, would you like to speak?
Good evening, Board. My name is Keith Bond. I live at 262 Overlook Trail in the greatest subdivision in Gun Barrel, Tamarack. If I'm allowed, I've been on the board for 2 terms already. I'm the last of the board members of the Pier 334 when it was still top secret. I've weathered the storm, and I would really appreciate finishing out the last 2 years to have my 6 years on the board. If anybody's got any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Questions for Mr. Bond?
What are some of your favorite accomplishments as you've been on over the last few years?
Turning around on Pier 334 was one of them. Getting behind it and seeing that it was a positive thing. It may not be looked at as a positive, but I was against the referendum for the 500,000 loan to the developer because I felt that that money could be used better by the EDC in another function. I fought to keep the EDC from going into financial trouble because we were spending, and I kept trying to bring it to people's attention, and I was able to. That $500,000 is probably one of my favorite shining moments. It gave the EDC the opportunity to help the city when they had a shortfall of $409,000 to complete the community center, and I took it upon myself to get that put on the agenda of the EDC to grant that money to the city, the full $500,000, to help finish off and complete our community center.
Any further questions? Thank you, Mr. Bond, for your service. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up will be Joni Espinoza.
I brought copies of my resume. The city manager liked them.
You could, yep. I think we have all that.
No, she didn't.
Oh, you can pass those out.
If you can give those to Janet, she can hand them out.
While y'all are handing those out, I just want to say I sat in the car for 10 minutes, watched everyone coming in, and everyone seems really confident and excited. And I like that vibe. This seems like a group I would like to work with. So I was watching y'all. Also, another thing I noticed is that the people that are on a board now, they didn't ask to be changed to another board. They want to stay on the same board. And I found that very interesting too. So some of y'all may know me. I worked at the movie theater. My parents opened it. You may know my dad, C.D. Smith. He's the one that opened the library. He's the one that instilled in me, you give back to the community. He opened the library. He did all kinds of neat things. So I think it's time for me to get involved. So I live in Tres Lagos, right across the street. And I belong to the Civic League. I belong to the Literary Club. So I've been busy with those, but I really would like to help the city out. So I can answer any questions.
Questions for Joni? Anyone?
Well, I thought you were C.D. Smith's daughter. Is that right, Lucy?
Yes, I'm Lucy's daughter.
Yeah.
I'm Mini-Me. Her friends call me Mini-Me, Mini
Okay.
Lucy.
So you're ready to get involved with government?
I am. I am. I watched my dad set up the EDC in 7 Points. So that's why I was interested in the EDC.
Okay.
So,
I just want to say I'm glad you're doing it. We need more people to step up and help the community that are outside, and we need some new eyes looking. In my opinion, new eyes are always good.
it never
Hey,
hurts.
Thank you.
It never hurts, because sometimes the same people might get in a rut.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I think you'll be happy with my performance. Anything else?
I will echo that, and thank you for all that your family's done for the lake area. I appreciate that.
Well, of
Any
course.
further questions?
We came here and we haven't left.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Joni. Our next applicant, James Slack. James, that's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Hello, council.
Hello.
I missed the first part. Am I supposed to just tell you about myself, or y'all have specific questions for me?
You can just give us a brief overview of yourself and what makes you want to sit on the board, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Okay. My name's James Slack. I'm 42 years old. I live here in Gun Barrel with 2 kids. I work as a mechanical engineer at Lone Star Machine Works. I'm currently on the board of the ordinance review, and I think I'm making a meaningful contribution there. I'd like to see if I can do a similarly good job for the Economic Development Corporation.
Perfect. Is that it? Questions for
That's all I got.
James? Anybody?
Well, I don't know you personally. I do know you've been very active in Tamarack and
Yes.
them, a lot of things done for them on volunteering, just volunteering. So that's good. And thank you for applying.
What have you enjoyed about the ordinance committee?
Oh, what have I enjoyed about it? Gosh, it's not particularly fun.
All right.
It is a lot of work. I don't know, I'm definitely learning a few things.
Yeah.
I'm learning more about the way the city works. I never had much involvement in the city before that,
Yeah.
so that definitely has been my biggest involvement.
Candor and honesty are big with all of us, so you check that box.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you I
You're
really
good.
enjoy about it.
You're
It's not-
good. Any further questions for James? James, thanks again for your application. I appreciate you.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, we are going to backtrack a little bit and go back to the Board of Adjustments. And Linda Tracy's out here. Linda, will you please step up?
Sorry I was tardy.
You're fine.
Okay. Hello, I'm Linda Tracy. I grew up, this is what I gotta say, I grew up as a weekender here on the lake and became full-time about 35 years ago. I owned a business here for about 17 years of that, here on Main Street, as a matter of fact. I truly love Gun Barrel City and our lake. I enjoy being a part of it in any way that I can. I worked a few years with the city of Dallas as an engineering director. I went out and took measurements for old roads to compare to the new roads that they were going to put in and go back and print it out and so forth. I did a lot of different things with the city. I did building permits, street addresses. Now, on the building permits in the city, a lot of times we'd have to go back out and check and make sure they didn't double up on their addresses. That was a thing you had to watch. And it's been, I think, 2 to 3 years now that I've been on the Board of Adjustments, and I'd like to continue to help. There I am.
Thank you, Linda. Questions for Linda? Linda and I go way back. She was looking at me because I was really out of place. I was getting my nails done.
See, I didn't say nothing.
And
I
she
did
looked over at
post
me
it.
and she said, "You look familiar." And I said, "Is it my nails or my hair?" She said nails. Any other further comments? or
I would
questions?
also like to say that I noticed there's a couple of other vacancies on other boards. I've become very familiar with this and how it works, and I wouldn't mind putting an application in for any other boards that y'all are needing to fill, so I can move on along.
I appreciate that very much, Linda. I will echo what Mr. Burson said. It's good to have fresh eyes and people that are
Always.
invested in the area, and you've been here a long time. That would be a breath of fresh air. Any further questions? If none, thank you.
Okay?
That was easy, huh? Okay, moving to planning and zoning now. Our first applicant will be Charlotte Johnson.
Hello, I'm Charlotte Johnson. I am married and have lived in Gun Barrel since 2019, and I am also in the great neighborhood of Tamarack. I have a son that's a Plano fireman. I have 3 grandchildren that are 13, 7, and 4, very active in sports and cheerleading. I am a part-time remote bookkeeper, and prior to that, I owned and operated my own steel yard for 10 years. I lived in Kaufman prior to Gun Barrel City. I was there for 20 years. During those years, I volunteered on several committees, such as the City Fall Festival, St. Anne's Church Festival, treasurer for St. Luke's Health Clinic, and PTA president. I started volunteering with the Gun Barrel City Toys for Tots organization last year, and I am currently serving on planning and zoning, but my term is expiring. So I would love to stay on and continue to learn and hopefully make an impact on the community.
Thank you, Charla. Questions for Charla?
I'll ask you as well, what have you enjoyed about planning and zoning so far?
Well, I have to say my first meeting had to do with Hillsdale. So I don't think that was an advantage, but that was interesting for sure. I've enjoyed learning about everything. There's a lot more for me to learn. And I was on the subcommittee to redo the rules and procedures for planning and zoning. And that was a huge advantage for me to learn how things are supposed to be done, you know, how we follow things, the rules, and our effect on everything like that. So
Perfect. No further questions? Charlotte, thank you for your service. Joni is also applying for that. Want to thank you again, Joni, for putting your name in there again. We'll now move to Parks and Rec Board, which has been a really shining light here, especially recently. So shout out to everyone that's been a part of that. Our first application and applicant today will be Gilbert Shelby.
Hi, my name's Gilbert Shelby. I hail from the mighty Willowwood subdivision here in Gun Barrel City. Since Keith claimed greatest, I'll claim coolest. Been reformed, so I didn't get the full 2 years, but under Monica's leadership, I think the park board's been pretty effective. It's certainly been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed doing it a great deal. And I also kind of feel like, as something that's restarted, we're at a point now that we've kind of got our footing. Got to try, you know, we've got a park department and their budget. We've got city, and we're kind of trying to figure out where we fit in the grand scheme of things a little better, I think. So I think we're going to be able to more efficiently spend our money now and do more things. And we've got some subcommittees that I'm looking forward to participating in, if I'm lucky enough to have the next 2-year term, if you guys honor me with a recommission or whatever you might call that. Any questions?
I will just echo that Gilbert and his wife, I see them at every time there's an event in Gun Barrel, they are there. Gilbert has great ideas and forethought. Whenever he comes to a meeting, it doesn't matter where you are. I know because I sit in on a lot of these meetings. He is extremely well prepared, well versed on the subject, and is a great leader. And I will echo that Monica has had a great impact, but I will say just as much so, Gilbert Shelby has been a great leader of that Parks and Rec Board, and congratulations to everyone that has sat on that board. That has been a real bright spot.
Thank you.
Questions for Gilbert?
No, I just want to concur what you say. I believe it as well.
I know. Can you believe I got all that out without stuttering, Jay? That was something else, huh?
You don't let us take any credit. You get the credit.
You know I'm loudmouth. Any other questions? Gilbert, thank you again for everything you do, buddy.
Appreciate you, Gilbert.
And without further ado, our next applicant will be none other than Monica Damiano.
Looking all nice and refreshed after being out there at the beach.
Hello, I am Monica Damiano, as you all know, and I have been a resident here in Gun Barrel for 14 years. And I have served on the Gun Barrel City Beautification Committee for 13 of those years. And some of the work that we have done with beautification has been at the park. If any of you have had the opportunity to see the butterfly garden that we have formed several years ago and we maintain. In fact, my 2 week starts next Sunday, and for 2 weeks I'll be keeping up the butterfly garden. But I have grown to enjoy and really appreciate the park that we have. I think it's one of the biggest commodities we have here in Gun Barrel. And I love to see it used, and I would love to see it used more. I have had the opportunity 2 years ago to join the park board, and I have really enjoyed it. It has been so much fun trying to figure out what we are going to do, how we can make improvements. I enjoy hearing from the residents of Gun Barrel what they would like to see at the park and get some ideas from them as well. And I've enjoyed working with Gilbert and the other park board members. And so I as well don't feel like I'm done. I feel like I would love the opportunity to continue and see what else we can do with the park. So, thank you. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank you and Gilbert and all of the board for all y'all do.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Okay.
Nothing else? Monica, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, our applicant for this board will be Laura Young.
I'm Laura Young. I live in Tamarack as well. I've lived in Gun Barrel 8 years, and this is my town, and I love it here. I had a little part in getting the Parks Board started up again a couple of years ago. I was using my free time reading the city charter, of all things, and I saw that one of the things in the charter was that we had a Parks and Rec Board. And I said, why do we not have it functioning? So I had opportunity to go to a couple of the council members, and they put it on the agenda, and finally we did get a Parks Board. At that time, I'm a small business owner. I was getting my business kind of off the ground. And when I saw the opening, I thought, you know what? I think I can do this now. I have a successful little business, and my life is going, pretty nicely. And so I think I have the time and would love to be a part of this. I've watched a few of the meetings. I was so excited to see the things that you're buying with the budget. The weather, peri-weather thing, that's so cool. Benches and what was the other one? I can't, the screens, I guess, that were going to help for comfort at the park. I loved seeing the process of them learning about how grants work and what we can do to get grants for the park. And so they're working so hard, and I would just love to be a part of it. So if you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer.
Any questions for Laura?
No, I don't.
I'm just thrilled to have your application, Laura. I know you've been kind of thinking about it for a long time. I'm thrilled that you finally decided time for it.
Be my pleasure to serve. I love to volunteer, and well, it's just kind of my middle name. So I think this is going to be a good fit if I approved.
It'll be a great asset.
All right.
You will be.
Thank you.
I will echo that. No further questions?
All right. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you for your time. Joni has also put her name in on this list, and would I be out of order if I said that, because Linda, you raised her hand, that we are short one vacancy on planning and zoning, so she could, obviously, if she wanted to, be an applicant for that also?
Yes, so Joni filled out one application and said, hey, I'm open, I want to be involved, I'm happy to be on
I just
any
didn't want to
board
speak
where
for
you
her
need a
on two
vacancy.
boards.
No problem with Linda Tracy doing that as well if council so chooses, so.
And I personally don't have any conflicts if they're on the BOA and another board, just don't prefer two people occupy two other boards that are not part of one of them BOA.
As you all know, BOA meets as needed, So BOA is unique in that they don't have a set meeting. I'm not sure when the last, it's been several months probably since our last one, and that was before,
They did last month.
yeah, maybe the month before we had a request, but they don't meet very often. So just a heads up, however council chooses to proceed.
Any other further discussion, council?
Mayor, we do have the ability to move to the tables if council wants to discuss the applicants and where you might place them. This is always kind of a puzzle piece. That gives us a little bit of direction on, hey, if we have an extra opening in planning and zoning or an extra opening on economic development, we can go out and our community engagement coordinator can really push that spot so that when we appoint in September, it also gives the applicants a little bit of heads up that, hey, starting the second week of October, you may be asked to be at a meeting, so.
Okay. Council, do we entertain that idea? Do we need to move to the tables? Are we good here?
It doesn't matter to me, whatever you want to do.
Are you good? Good? Jay? Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Without further ado, this meeting is now,
What will help me, Mayor, is for y'all to
we need to
discuss
discuss
who
it.
you want to place in each of those positions.
oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
we
we were
don't
going
have
to
to move
vote
to the
on that.
tables, but we have, we
Okay.
like
Yeah, you
direction.
can do it. You can do that from here or at the tables. It's up to you. So
Okay.
it will just help us to have a general conversation about kind of who you
So
would
you
like
want to
to
go
appoint.
through the order again, correct?
And just have a conversation as to who, like, we have 4 applicants for economic development, but only three places.
Right.
Give her ideas of what we're thinking, for example.
Yeah.
So like
So-
Linda Tracy, I have no issues with Linda being on the Board of Adjustments, renewing her application there. I have no objections there.
No objections on
Everybody good with
Board of
that?
Adjustment.
We're good with that? So next one is the 3 vacancies with 4 applicants.
Well, I would like to see that Jerry stay on EDC, just my opinion, but
I would agree.
And I'd like Keith Bond, of course, to stay on EDC.
And I would like James Slack to take that vacant position.
And no objections to that.
Everybody good with those last 2? Keith Bond and James Slack?
Yep, Keith Bond.
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Joni
For which one?
on the EDC. That's who I would vote for.
We have, yeah, how do we pick? He needs to pick 3, right? So
Right.
which 3 are you, who are you eliminating, I guess, out of your nomination or out of your discussion?
Out of those 3, Keith Bond.
Okay. So I don't agree with that, so I don't know how.
So we will go,
forward with that.
we will do this. So a vote for my left, please.
We're not voting, we can't vote
Yeah,
today.
can't vote.
It's just a conversation, just to see kind of how people are feeling, I guess, of where we want them to be.
Well, then you're at a stalemate.
Yeah, then you just move on to the next conversation.
All right. Planning and zoning applications, 2 for 3 vacancies.
I'm good with Charlotte Johnson remaining on planning and zoning.
I am as well. And Joni in one of the vacant seats.
Yep. Yes? Gentlemen?
I agree.
Okay. Moving on to Parks and Rec. First 2 applicants were Gilbert Shelby and Monica Damiano.
for them.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Good with that?
Yep.
And Lori Young and Joni Espinoza to round out the 4 vacancies.
So my only question is, again, I don't usually like them to be on 2 boards, not to BOA, so that would put Joni on the planning and zoning and the park board. I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't have a vote, so.
Why don't we put Laura on Parks and,
We can remain, we don't have to fill every seat.
Linda Tracy also said that she was willing to serve on a second board. I think Parks could be a fun to balance out Board of Adjustment.
If she'd be willing, that'd be fine.
She says yes. Everyone good with that?
So Parks and P and Z?
Parks and BOA for.
Parks and
For
BOA.
Linda Tracy.
Linda Tracy.
Yep.
Yes?
Joni, yes.
Okay.
On which board? Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying.
So is Joni going up to Board of Adjustments? Where do you-
No, Joni was staying in
Joni-
planning and zoning. but
Joni's
we
on
were talking
planning and
about on
zoning.
Parks, we have two openings. We were talking about it being Laura Young and Linda Tracy. One of them is a one-year term and one is a two-year term. Which one would we like to see in which area, I guess you'd say? I know somebody spoke, but I don't know who was speaking. Both like the two-year term.
I will tell you, in the past, this is an option for council. Charla lived this, which is why Charla is back in front of you today. And the reason Janet brought it up, when we appointed last year at this time to P&Z, we had 3 spots, 2 two-year terms, 1 one-year term. We didn't have this discussion at the council level, so Janet and I drew out of the hat, this person gets 2 years, this person gets 2 years, and the final person got a one-year term. That is an alternative if council would like to give us direction to do that, if you don't want to have that discussion, but it is up to council. But that is another option. That is how we handled P&Z, which is how Charlotte ended up with a one-year term, so.
I would be okay with that.
Everybody good with that? Any further discussion?
I'm sorry? Well, yours is she's a renewing spot, so I think it's a different situation, unless you're telling me something with your one-year request. Okay, we'll leave you where you are.
So just to confirm, if you're okay, Mayor, do you mind? We will reappoint Linda Tracy to the Board of Adjustments. The Economic Development Corp, we'll reappoint Jerry. We will appoint James. You all will discuss at this September meeting, Keith or Joni, if I understand. Planning and zoning, if not, we need to have a further discussion about that. Planning and zoning currently has 2 vacancies. Charla, we would appoint, and Joni, we would appoint. And then Parks and Rec would be Gilbert Shelby, Monica Damiano, reappoint, appoint new Laura Young, and appoint new Linda Tracy, and we will draw for who receives the 2-year term versus the 1-year term.
Well, I will say, if Joni's going to be on planning and zoning, I do not want her on economic development. So you have to pick which one.
Who?
Okay, so we're saying that we're putting Joni on planning and zoning, correct? And then if we're looking at her as an option for economic development, she will not be an option for me. Because you do not want those, in my opinion, on the same, 2 people on the same board. So I, of course, I'm going to say Keith Bond on Planning and on Economic Development Corporation.
I don't think they conflict, and some people are serving on 2 boards. That's just my opinion.
But I think they definitely
This is
conflict.
a chance for council to visit about how they will proceed.
You want to put Joni on Board of Adjustments?
No, Joni wants to be on planning. I mean, she's okay on planning and zoning. She can be on Board of Adjustments if she wants. That doesn't bother, because we do have one vacancy there. I'm just saying I'm not going to vote for her on economic development and planning and zoning.
Are you good with Keith or Joni on economic development?
Not really, but I'll just one vote, so.
Bobby?
I agree with April on the conflict.
So you would vote, tell me who you would vote for on economic.
See.
Who would you want on the
He
EDC
was,
versus Keith Bond or
Keith
Joni
and,
Espinoza?
Jerry.
Okay, and then you got to pick one of the other 2.
And James Slack.
And it was James.
And James is who he wants.
Okay, he wants James, Jerry, and Keith?
Correct.
Okay.
That's mine, James, Jerry, and Keith.
Yes.
Me as well.
Okay.
So that will, I think if y'all all agree, that will leave us 1 vacancy on BOA. And that will leave us one vacancy on planning and zoning. Our community engagement specialist or coordinator will advertise those for the next 30 days. We'll extend the deadline on those two and reopen that application. If you also could help get the word out that we have some spaces on BOA and planning and zoning, that would be amazing. They go to our website, fill out the application. We'll bring those candidates that apply between now and then for those two boards back to, I believe we also, no, those two boards, we'll bring it back to council at the September meeting, and this will be an item to approve on the agenda at the September meeting.
No, I don't recommend it. We want more people, right? Like you're saying, fresh eyes, fresh ideas, new people. So hopefully we can get some other applicants and get them in here.
Further discussion? Council? Dr. Smith, anything?
No, sir. Thank you for the direction.
This meeting is now adjourned.
It's only 5:30. I was thinking it was 6:30. We're going to fit right on into the next one.
I wished. We just never sure how long that's going to take, so.
I got